Hey guys, MoJK here. Just wanted to talk about what we know so far about some upcoming global exclusives for the holiday special banner. So we know that Medius and Cerius are now getting a 6-star um, awakening form, which tells us a lot actually. In addition to whether or not they're going to be good, which we don't quite know yet, we know now that global is really its own thing. Like we no longer can rely on Japan as like this, crystal ball into the future because I think what they're trying to do is keep us on our toes and not know quite what's going on. So we can't really um, dump units, know exactly what to keep because we just don't know what's coming. So that's one of the things that's kind of um, not scary, but just keeps me a little bit more alert because I had actually just used a 5-star maxed out Cerius to enhance my Noctis. Yes, I did get a Noctis, but I used it because I was like, you know what, I have a little 4-star, 3-star Cerius sitting here on the side. If by any chance she becomes really good in the future, I'll build her up again, but I don't need this maxed out 5-star one. So I just went ahead and used it. It was a good amount of experience, but I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I knew that a 6-star form was coming. So anyway, there's only so much that we know right now, but we'll get into what we do know. So the two new units that are coming up on the holiday special banner are White Knight Noel and Santa Rosilia, um, which is kind of interesting because the Noel character was from the story directly. Rosilia is an FFBE character, but she wasn't necessarily in the story. Um, so White Knight Noel is a base 5-star, going to be very difficult to pull, and he's basically a tank slash mage hybrid, which is very unique because normally when you think of tanks, you're thinking of somebody who's like physically strong and could maybe do some physical attacking or whatnot. But this one is a tank, but also a mage, and he specializes in ice and wind spells. His TM is really good actually for a mage, and obviously particularly good for him because it has the two stats that he needs: magic and defense plus 50, and ice resist plus 25. So that's a pretty nice TM, but going to be hard to farm up obviously. Santa Rosilia is a base 4-star and goes to 6 stars. Both of these are 6-star units. Um, and her TM is good for healers, which is a plus 20% spirit and HP MP plus 15%. Pretty nice all-purpose TM there. Again, not top priority farming for TMs, but any healer could use that pretty well. And Rosilia, just like her regular form, is going to be purely dedicated to healing. And we're also getting 6-star forms for Cerius and Medius, and this is global exclusive. We didn't know this was coming from Japan. We actually don't know how good they are. We don't know if they're even worth building up. But hold on to your Gigantors for now. Don't oh, I have a Cerius, I have a Medius, I have to build them up, max them out right now. We don't quite know if they're worth it yet, but um, we have kind of a clue as to what they have that's new. For instance, Cerius has a dark element resistance buff now, which is pretty unique. She already had some nice bar spells like Bar Thundara, Bar Thundaga, and the fire and ice variants of those as well. She's also going to get a dual cast, which sounds really good, but she basically can only use green magic. So if you need to cover two elements, you can do two of those in one turn, which is nice. There's also some kind of a staff that's coming, or maybe it's in the game already. I don't know, but there's a staff that grants you the ability to do Cura. So if you have dual cast Cura, that's not too bad. And then maybe some Esper stuff too. So yeah, there's some possibilities with Cerius. I'd be curious to see if she's worth slotting in. At the very least, she'll probably be situational if you need like that extra mitigation. And then Medius is a gunner. He was pretty trash before because his stats were pretty bad. He had this weird tanking ability or something, where he had draw attacks, but you would never want him to draw attacks because he's so weak. And his gun spells Gun abilities are pretty weak. Gun abilities generally are, but it sounds like they're going to be buffing him up a little bit. He was always a little bit interesting because he has a lot of multi-hit attacks, and we're kind of learning more and more how important it is to chain. So if he's buffed up enough stat wise and has some good abilities, he might be useful as a chainer. He could be good in arena if you put him with Chizuru or two. Maybe you just get some monster chaining going on. I don't know. Um, so let's get into some of these abilities that were data mined, and we can kind of have a good sense of what belongs to whom. But obviously this is speculative. We're not 100% sure. So a lot of these first abilities look like they're going to be what's his name again? White Knight Noel. Yeah, White Knight Noel's abilities, because he does magic and tanking. So boost HP by 20%, nullify silence and stone, um, decrease damage taken by caster, increased chance of being targeted. So that might be, I'm not sure if that's passive or not. Ice Blast, which is ice damage and reduce ice resistance. So that'd be a good way to kind of start it off, and then follow it up with Blizzaga. You can maybe have a party of mages and do that afterward. I don't know. He boosts defense when equipped with armor, boosts magic when equipped with a robe. Kind of gives you some options whether you want to go more offensive or defensive. Gale Blast, wind damage and reduce wind resistance for one enemy. So again, that's kind of like a starter ability, very similar to Bartz's ability. And that's who I see him synergizing well with, either mages who can cover ice element a lot, or Bartz, Gilgamesh, those kinds of characters who have a lot of wind abilities. Boost magic when equipped with a rod, boost defense when equipped with a shield. Again, I guess that's giving you more options, whether it be more tanky or whether to be a stronger mage. Bring it on, temporarily increase chance of being targeted and decrease damage for taken for 3 turns. We don't know if this is going to be on the level of Paladin Cecil, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty good and a high chance to target him. So that's his main tanking ability right there. Ice damage and paralyzed to all enemies. Maybe that's like his ultimate or his like level 100 ice damage spell. Chance of using a random ice ability on enemy after receiving a magic attack. I know this is his too. So basically he's countering magic attacks with his own ice ability, which is pretty cool, unless the enemy you're fighting is ice based. Use random ice ability on enemy. Obviously that's Knowles right there. Ice damage to all enemies, Blizzaga. I don't know why that's here. That's not a global exclusive skill. Sub-Zero, ice damage, reduce ice resistance, and paralyze to one enemy. That's really good too. Maybe that's the level 100. I don't know. I think that's it, actually. I think those are all his skills. So it's a lot of ice and wind, decreasing their resistances, and then some tanking abilities. So that's White Knight Noel in a nutshell, I think. These next ones appear to be Santa Rosilia, boost spirit by 30%, limit break gauge fills each turn during battle, which is going to be pretty significant, as we'll see later, because her limit break is really good. Boost spirit and reduce attack for caster. She's going to have some pretty sky-high spirit, so that's just something to keep in mind. As far as pure healing goes, she's going to be definitely the best healer. But she does lack in a certain number of areas. Like she doesn't have a revival or raise ability like Refia does, full raise, full life. And she also doesn't have like a party buff, like a embolden, focus, none of that. She's basically just pure healing. And she's also good at getting rid of status ailments, at least for herself. I don't see an Asuna here, but maybe that's considered not exclusive. Maybe that's not data mined here. Not quite sure. So when she receives any kind of attack, she has a chance of curing and gaining immunity to all these status ailments. Pretty much everything, I think. Almost everything. So that's just a nice, instead of a counter, she's curing herself and making herself immune to status ailments. That's really nice. She also has a chance of restoring HP to self or all allies after every attack. So that's another way that she's just constantly healing everybody. It seems like you can actively cure and gain resistance to these immunity to these ailments, like by deliberate choice, if you want to, and then randomly restore HP for caster or all allies. I guess that's kind of like a prayer type of thing where you're just, it's by chance. Restore HP for caster, and then restore HP for all allies. Mass heal is going to be really good, I think, on the level of Curaja at least. And that's it for Santa Rosilia. So basically just pure healing all over the place. The next one I think is Cerius, boost dark resistance and resistance to stone for all allies. I can't talk. So that's pretty unique for Cerius. Adds another element that she's resisting to. Buffing up, I mean. Random damage to all enemies. I think this is now Medius. So nice AoE ability probably. Blazing Glory. I think this is his best single target ability. Deal partial unmitigated damage to one enemy. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of hits, and I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty decent multiplier. And then Winter Ward boosts ice and wind resistance for 3 turns to all allies. I don't know if this is Rosilia or possibly Noel, but or it could even be Cerius. I guess it would make sense to be Cerius as well. So yeah, so she gets. I won't speculate, but yeah, that's a possibility there. So global exclusive materia, boost wind and ice resistance for 3 turns to all allies. I guess this is some kind of skill that you can get. Maybe that's a Rosilia's TM. Let me see. No, it's not. Okay, so I don't know what this is. But then here we go, Limit Burst. This is definitely, these first two are definitely White Knight Knowles. This is his 5-star form. This is his 6-star form probably. Boost magic and defense for all allies, and then boost magic and defense and restore MP. So that's pretty nice Limit Burst there. These are Santa Rosilia's 4-star, 5-star, 6-star. And it gets really good. It's restore HP and cures all these status ailments and boost spirit. So it's like a magic, it's kind of like a Shelga plus, I think people called it Isunaga or AoE Isuna. And, maybe a Cure Raja level. So that's all in one. That's a really nice Limit Burst. So that's pretty much what we know at this point. And again, some of this was speculative and data mined, but my personal opinion is that these two new units are pretty interesting, but not game breaking, not something to break the bank for. But yeah, definitely has some very good niche uses. And then Medius and Cerius are probably going to be decent, but not amazing. I'd be interested to see how well Medius can chain with Chizuru in Arena. Chizuru's already a monster at chaining with herself, but yeah, I'm gonna build him up maybe, but we'll find out more in a day or two. So yeah, stay posted or keep posted, and yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm gonna leave now. Can't really talk.